Okay, hi grade 10s. We're entering week 6 of distance learning. Congratulations for all of you that have continued to do your work and continue your path to learning and setting yourself up best for the future because some of you are really doing that. This week's lessons are 4.9 and 4.10, and it's preparation for our next method of finding a point of intersection or a solution, and that's preparing for the elimination method. So what you do this week is going to prepare you for next week's elimination method, which will pretty much bring an end to Unit 4, and then we've got Unit 5 that will carry us on for the next few weeks, okay? So right now we're just looking at simple things here that many of you might know, and some of you it will be a review. So for the next lesson here, we're just going to go through things pretty slow, and then you'll see where we're at. So it says examples simplify. So simplify is just telling us to either add or subtract based on what we have. So the first one here just asks x plus x. So we always imagine if it has nothing beside our variable. So once again, a variable being a letter. So x, y, z, q, etc. And if it has nothing besides the variable, that simply means it's 1. So in this case, we have 1x plus 1x. And that's going to get us 2x. If we carry on here and we look at the next example, it says x minus x. So once again, I have 1x minus 1x, or 1 minus 1, and that's going to give us an answer of 0. Finally, we're getting back into using integers again. So remember about adding happiness or sadness. So if we are adding a negative number, we are adding sadness, or going towards the negative. If we are subtracting sadness, we are going towards the positive. We're getting rid of it. So in this case here, we've got x plus a negative x. So we are adding sadness, so it's basically we are subtracting x, giving us 0 once again. Over here we have 3x plus 3x, so we just add our coefficients, or the numbers beside our variable. So number beside variable is called coefficient. Expand this box for you. Okay, so that we know what that means. So we simply add those numbers, so 3x plus 3x giving us 6x. Okay, next one here, 3x minus 3x, so we have the same one, and we're subtracting those coefficients, subtracting those x's, giving us an answer of 0. In this case here, once again, if we look up at our top, adding a negative number, we are adding sadness, so we're going towards the negative. So 3x plus negative 3x is going to give us 0. Okay, the x's eliminate, the numbers eliminate. Now it asks us to simplify or add these coefficients. So in this case, we've got 3x plus 5x, 3 plus 5 being 8, so it's 8x. In the next one here, we have 4 plus negative 6x. So if we're adding a negative number, it goes further towards the negative. And in this case, 6 being greater than 4, so it's going to be negative 2x. Over here, we've got 7 plus negative 4x. Once again, adding sadness or adding a negative number. We're going to go towards the negative. So 7 subtracting 4 being 3x. Notice how we're always keeping those x's unless it's 0. 8x minus 5x is going to be 8 minus 5 being 3x. We have 2 minus 8x, so we're going really into the negative here. 2 minus 8 being negative 6x. Here's the one that we haven't seen yet. We've got 4 subtracting negative 3x. So once again, we're getting rid of sadness. So those two negatives actually equal a positive. We get rid of those things, and we add them, giving us 4 plus 3, or 7x. Okay. These numbers here, pretty simple. We've been through these before. You can do these on your calculator if you really want, but this should be pretty straightforward math. So 3 plus negative 5, giving us negative 2. 2, or negative 7, plus 2, so we're going closer to the positive, being negative 5. All right. We got a negative 6 plus negative 4, so going further into the negative, being negative 10. Over here, we've got 9 minus negative 3, so those two negatives are going to equal that positive number. It's going to give us 9 plus 3, or 12. Same thing over here. We've got negative 6 minus negative 2. So in that case, we're adding that. It's going to be closer to the positive and giving us an answer of negative 4. So negative 5 minus 3, once again, we're just adding into the negative. Negative 5 minus 3 being negative 8. And that is 4.9, or preparation for elimination method. A lot of this is review, guys, and you should be able to continue to do this, okay? Moving on to 4.10, or 4.10. All right. So right now we've got, it says solving for x or y when given a value. So all we're doing is substitute the given of x into the following, and use the order of operations to solve for y. So once again, all we're doing is taking x or y and putting it into the other equation. It says substitute given value of x. Sometimes it will give us the value of y, and we just got to figure out the other. So in this one right here, we know our value of y being 6, so it's x plus y equals 14. I'm going to sub in that value of 6 into the y spot, and that's going to give us 14. We know that we want x by itself on one side, or the variable by itself, and the numbers on the other. So if we move that 6 to the other side, or positive 6, it's going to become negative 6. And then x becoming 14 minus 6 being 8. Okay. A little bit more difficult on this one here. We know that y is equal to 3, and all we're going to do is sub it into the other equation to find x. So if we sub in y equals 3 to the y spot, it will be in brackets like so. And if we continue on with this, we know that any number beside each other, or in brackets, is multiplication. So 7 times 3 being 21 equals negative 1. So once again, we were going to want to put our x's on one side, or variables on one side, and numbers on the other. So 5x equals, if I move that negative 21 to the other side, it becomes positive 21 minus 1. So then it's 5x equals 20. And we know if I want to get x by itself, I have to divide it by 5, or the coefficient on both sides. And x then equaling. In our next example, we have x is equal to a number, and we've got to sub that in. So the same thing as we just did before, x plus 4y equals 17. We're going to sub in 9 for the x position. So 9 plus 4y equals 17. We We want our numbers on one side, letters on the other. So we've got 4y equals 17. Since 9 is positive on this side, and when we move it to the other, it becomes negative. 4y is then equal to 17 minus 9, which is 8. If I want to get y by itself, I've got to divide it by 4, and I have to do the same thing to the other side. And therefore, our answer being y equals 2. Okay. And then finally, our last equation here, if we look to do it, we have x equaling negative 3 in this case. And if we write out our full thing here, we've got negative 4x minus y equals negative 5, sorry. We're going to sub in that negative 3 into the x spot. We've got y by itself. So 4 times negative 3 being negative 12 minus y equals negative 5. And at this point we want numbers on one side and letters on the other. To make y positive, a step we could do here since it's negative is move that to the other side to make it positive. So we could actually just leave this negative 12, and we could bring over that negative 5 to make it positive 5. And we can move that negative y to the other side to make it y, positive y. Now if we carry on with this, negative 12 plus 5 being negative 7 is then equal to y. And now we know the answer to y. So your assignment this week is on the same document as our notes. You're going to continue that and hand this in by next Tuesday. All the best. Please feel free to reach out, ask questions. If you're not sure of how to do any of these, you can send it to me in a private comment, and I will get back to you as soon as possible and answer your questions. All the best. Good luck, Tens.